Bev.
And it's Mark.
And we are
The Redmonds.
Welcome to another episode of Meet the Redmonds. We have got a fun one for you today. We are going to do something a little bit different, a little bit out of our norm, and talk about praise team versus choir.
Previously on Meet the Redmonds, Marq and Bev debated praise teams versus choirs with a renowned gospel music radio personality. Here's a peek at the fun you missed.
We have invited one of our special friends, our family members, who really plays a great role in the gospel music industry to help us settle the score.
Yes, it is Marcella Jones, my cousin, my first cousin, and she is a gospel radio personality, and she has the accolades and the awards that really resonates to her skill set.
Her skill set. She's been on satellite radio.
She is absolutely cold-blooded. She is like the Michael Jordan of gospel music. Gospel DJing.
He is the voice, that voice of gospel music. And I mean, look, I don't know if Stellar Award nominated, is that accurate? Is that in your resume? If not, we're speaking it. Saying, hey, that's the caliber of person that we have with us today.
So we're introducing to some, but most people probably know who she is, Marcella Jones.
Hey!
What's up?
You know, it's so funny that we've been having this conversation today because I got started singing in a choir. So you already know whose side I'm on right now.
Okay.
So I literally went to the radio station, didn't know anything about radio. I just wanted them to play our music. And every other weekend, I would go and take donuts off just to say thank you. Playing our music. And one day I was there and the person that normally answered the phone didn't come in that day. And so they asked, can you answer the phone? And all I knew how to do was answer the phone. And so that went from me beginning to take classes. That went from, I would have never ever thought at that time that God was preparing me for a time like this. Because that same radio station is where I got started. And I am now program director.
Your three must-haves if you have a choir.
Well, I mean, the must-have is you're looking for the harmony. That's the first thing. So It doesn't matter how big a choir that you have. That harmony has to be on point.
Okay.
The range. I love a great range. I sent Ricky Dillard a message last month and said, your soprano section is their own project. They do their own. So you always look for a choir and the section that has a great range. The message and the beat. I like a lot of songs. I'm a Sunday morning girl. I play music Sunday mornings as well as Sunday. But a Sunday morning church song. Oh, there's nothing wrong with
about your praise team. What are your three can't misses with a praise team?
Well, first of all, let me say this. Like I said earlier, I don't want no problems out in the gospel street. Okay? All right.
We won't give no smoke. All y'all.
No problem.
This is advisory only.
But I do love a good praise and worship team because I believe that the praise and worship team sets the tone for the service. Sometimes, we've moved on from that era of the getting down on one knee. I love the love. We moved on.
No. Sometimes that has a place.
It does. But Marcella has.
Well, if it's a traditional church,
but you got to do it right. Yes.
But I think a mixture of both. I know some churches do a mixture of both. They have the early morning devotional with the deacons praying and, I love the Lord, He heard my cry. And then they have the praise team. So I think you can have a mixture. Don't just X my deacons out. About your praise team. What are your three can't misses with a praise team?
Well, first of all, let me say this. Like I said earlier, I don't want no problems out in these gospel streets. Okay? All right.
We won't give no smoke. All y'all.
No problem.
This is advisory only.
But I do love a good praise and worship team, because I believe that the praise and worship team sets the tone for the service. Sometimes, we've moved on from that era of the Deacons, getting down on one knee. I love the love. We moved on from that. We moved on.
No. Sometimes that has a place.
It does.
It does.
It's. But Marcella has.
Well, if it's a traditional church,
you got to do it right. Yes.
Well, I think a mixture of both. I know some churches do a mixture of both. They have the early morning devotional with the deacons praying, and I love the Lord, He heard my cry, and then they have the praise team. So I think you can have a mixture. Don't just X my deacons out.
Up next on Meet the Redmonds, Marq and Bev wrap up their visit with gospel radio music personality Marcella Jones on Praise Teams versus Choirs Part 2.
Choir rehearsal, and we go hang out, and we go, but a worshiper, a praise, now there may be some that still do their thing, but a real worshiper, that is not even their level of what they do day to day basis. Like they're always, I feel like they have a line directly connected to the Father.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
And I'm going to give this, when we said the pros and cons for praise and worship teams, actually praisers are biblical. It wasn't the choirs that went in first. It's your praisers and your worshipers. So shout out to the praise teams. Every group has its role and its space, but worship is super personal, completely personal. It is something that changes atmospheres, changes lives. And it's not that your choir can't do that. There is an element of worship that goes with that. But really, the worship teams are supposed to carry that spirit of anointing that changes the dynamic of your service.
Well, I got another beat, and maybe this is just me being traditional.
Yeah.
Here's my other beat, and this is with praise and worship and choirs. What's up with these musicians who are / mercenaries? They come in, they play, and they leave. Your minister of music back in the day had to be a member of your church.
Marq is coming with all the smoke.
Not like that anymore.
Nope.
They come in with jeans, cut off t-shirts, they play their songs, and bam, they out the door.
Now they say, it's come as you are. That's a whole different conversation. So what is come as you are? But you have so many, and a lot of them, they play for more than one church, not just that one particular ministry. They may have gigs that Sunday. So oftentimes you find that, like I said, we're in a different day and age now.
It's
you
very.
can find a musician on Sunday. Sometimes they have a page where if there's a musician that's needed, and they'll go on and log on and say, hey, there's a musician church for the 11 a.m. service. This is what they're paying. And they literally go on, I'll take it. So they have their own little network that they do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like DoorDash for musicians. It's an Uber. I'll take that gig. Wow.
It is not easy to pay for musicians. You're talking hundreds of dollars to get a full complement every Sunday. Sorry, but
and you used to be able to get a musician for like $50. I know a pastor down. I'm like, okay, you can't pay them $50. And it's the same thing with if you're trying to get a soloist. There used to be a time when you could just give them like honorarium, nice little love offering of $25 or something like that.
What happened to love offering? What happened to that? So you
There's
mean to tell me
for love offering now?
Nah, I don't know. I could see if you're doing it for a concert, but if somebody just happened to come and sing or whatever, what's wrong with a love offering?
But see, the thing, Mark, you have to remember that a lot of these and artists is their way of living. That's what they take up. And sometimes you may have a stellar award with artists. You may have an artist that has been someone who has been nominated. So when you're nominated in your Stellar Award, that gives you an opportunity to
All
raise.
right. Now I'm gonna put it back on you since you brought this up. Now I know Miss MC, you do things at other churches. What is how do you handle that? If somebody asks you
really
to,
depends.
right?
It depends. If it's a concert where there is a Marvin Scott, Donnie McClurkin, or something like, if it's a ticketed event where you have your stellar performers, then of course you're going to pay them, right? You're going to pay them. So if you can pay them, you should be able to pay me.
Now, is that something?
Put it in your budget.
Now, is that something that you negotiate on your own, or do you have somebody doing that for you?
No, I don't need that. I don't need that. I negotiate. It depends on the service. I do free events all the time. I had an event today that I did. It just really depends on the situation. And one thing you have to understand, though, is that when you call ministry, it shouldn't, although it may be about money to some people, because I came in this thing and I did it for free for 8 years, I didn't get paid. My heart looks at things differently. So I don't look at things, oh no, you gotta pay me, I gotta get paid. I don't look at it that way. There are some things that you simply have to do for the ministry of it. I'm grateful that God chose me. He could have chosen anybody else. And so you have to be faithful to the things that God has given you the opportunity to do. If you're faithful over a few things, what? You have to be mindful. You have to be mindful of that. And I know that there are a lot of artists that they want to get paid.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, what was the scripture again? Say it again, Beverly. You don't know it? You don't know a scripture? If you're faithful over what?
A few things, God makes you ruler over many.
And where's that
over many.
You don't know? Okay. No. I will put it on the screen, people. Beverly doesn't know a scripture, so I will put it so you will see it.
I'm not even gonna go there, but it's the same. Let's go.
But you know what? One of the things, and I know we may be short on time. I know. Okay. But one of the things I want to say is that some of your words that you say have resonated with me, and not just because we're blood, but when I first started with the whole book journey, you were one of the very first people that I contacted. One, to get a book review from, and then two, you hooked me up with Mr. Snipe, Dennis Snipe, to do an interview on the radio. And I just appreciate that, because that was really the launching pad for me getting my book out there. I just really want to thank you. You've always been so kind and accommodating, and you have a spirit and a love for helping people. And what's your catchphrase? I love me some you.
I love me.
Right, and that is.
If no one has told you that I love you, let me be the first to say I love me.
And that is just so indicative of the kind of person that you are. So we are just so grateful for you just even taking the time to do our little podcast and share some laughs with us. I was telling Beverly,
doing some big things. What are you talking about? Your little podcast?
I told Beverly,
I'm so proud of you all.
National.
we international.
We have to see it.
Okay. I was telling Beverly about the time I came over there and got hit by a cop.
Right. And get up and start running.
Right.
Who does that?
Jesse and Aunt Martha's porch.
That tells you everything you need to know. Marquel is resilient. Yeah.
This girl was chasing me with a big old safety pin. I don't know who this girl was. She lived on your block. She had.
I don't remember who that is.
You know how when you was a baby, you had them big old safety pins that you used to pin up diapers. It was about this big, and the needle was like.
Still have those safety pins.
And she
use them for girdle.
And I got hit by a cop, and I got up and sat on the porch.
I remember that, like it was yesterday. But no, I'm grateful for the opportunity, Mark. I think it's important that God gives us a platform that we always someone else and give them the opportunity. That's why I said I'm lover of independent artists because they're always looking for an opportunity. They may not spend the money that a major uh, artist, commercial artist, that one person that would give them an opportunity, a platform. And to be honest, there's a lot of great music out there that are from independent artists. Just a lot of diamonds.
hmm And really, church is their place to see them. Many of them never make it in terms of getting on the air and going everywhere. We get a lot more opportunities now because they can be on YouTube and other places that they can
Yeah.
share their gifts. But really, church is their perfecting place. That's where they are. And many of the great artists that we have, they go back to their home churches and they're on staff there. And you get to see them and you get to see what we would say gospel celebrity up close and personal.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna put Cuz on blast one last time.
Oh, goodness.
What's your favorite praise team right now?
I love a group called Ebony Praise.
Ebony Praise.
Ebony Praise.
Okay.
And it's just so many. Oh my goodness. So many. I can't even think of one, but that is one that I do know. That's the praise team. You mean a praise team or a praise art?
Praise artist, praise team.
Oh, got to give Chicago's own Todd Delaney props.
Mhm.
That brother is amazing. And just he's not just amazing, his story. No, he got started. He played major baseball. And God told him, leave major baseball and go into, singing. And you imagine you're a major baseball player and you make things, and all of a sudden you hear the voice that says, leave this and go sing a gospel song. Actually, gospel music doesn't pay a whole lot of money. So to hear that, that's major. So I have to say, Todd Delaney, he's a major worship. It's a major worship. Major.
I
So
have
if
a
I had to
student.
pick one, it would be Todd Delaney.
I have a student that has a praise team. His name is Carsey Barnes, and he has a praise team. And I think they do a concert called Favorite Fridays.
Okay.
And I know I told him to reach out to you. So
Yeah, reach out to me. I'm always listening to me. Always.
Okay.
I started off with for me. I will always play songs that no one else would play. And so it's so wonderful to hear a songs that I played back in the other stations take on the song. And I'm like, we did that back in the day. But it's so wonderful to hear that now they're picking up songs that they played from back in the day.
favorite choir.
And
You
I cannot say more than one choir. Or I'm going to come out the house tomorrow with all my tires on flat.
top 5. These are saints now. Top 5.
Well, top 3 of all time. So they can't get you on that.
I can give you a few.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm nervous about this thing. I would say Chicago's own Dexter Walker. I would say Chicago Mass Choir, the iconic Chicago Mass Choir. Reverend Nick Bunson and the Tommies. That's an old choir that started. I can do a whole show with just Tommies.
The Tommies.
So
Yes.
yeah, the Tommies. So there's just so many.
I like how you kept
now.
it. I like how you kept it politically correct and said everything Chicago. So you wouldn't get in trouble.
You don't understand the street.
Well, you dropped a name earlier, and that's Ricky Dillard.
Yes, and Ricky Dillard. Their range is just simply amazing.
Now, what do you have coming up as far as things that you're doing or anything that you're promoting in the upcoming future?
Oh, well, I am working on a podcast, Cuzzo.
Come on
you know what? We talked about this.
I'm going to have to call you to get some tips.
Listen, from what you told me, you got the whole setup. All you need is guests.
And you can get started.
Huh?
I just need to get started. Really,
yeah.
One thing that I always say that if you are doing anything, may it be stuff, may it be artist, that's your gift. And so I had began to buy things. I would buy speakers. You know, like, I haven't DJ'd a party yet. Okay, gospel party. That's what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Okay. I haven't done anything yet, but I have my speakers. You know, I invested in my roadcasters and microphones. I was investing way before I even thought about doing it. I had already started investing in myself. So I look at everything like, oh, wow, it's great. I need to have lights. I don't know why, but I'm just going to go ahead and have them. And so now, look, I'm getting ready to start a new journey, and I already have most of it I already need.
I've seen your setup. I know how it looks.
Marcella, just press play.
That's it.
Turn the camera on and press play. You will not regret it. We have a bunch of fun. But just do it. The world is waiting for you.
One of the things we started off doing when we first started doing our podcast, we would actually try to script out what we would say. After that first 2 episodes, we're like, we ain't doing this. No. We are not doing this.
We were tired after that. But it can't
because what comes from the heart reaches the heart. And people
now,
want to know you're normal.
Right. So everything we do is straight freestyling. And it comes out in the wash.
Yes.
Well, you guys are doing some big things. I'm serious. I'm going to be calling you.
Please do. We're there for you.
New for me. This is me. I've done radio forever. And so this is another platform. I'm looking forward to it. All of the people that I've met along my journey and my career. I've established a relationship with them. So I can now influence them. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to it on a different platform.
Well, I will be home in 2 weeks for about a week, and I will definitely see you and Aunt Martha and tell her hey. And we just appreciate Marcella Jones. Let's give her a hand. Yay. And before you go, where can people find you and listen to you?
You can find me at WKKC 89.3. Listen at WKKC.FM from anywhere in the world. My show is on Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. until 9. And Sunday morning, gospel from 5 a.m. until 1 p.m. I come on at 8 a.m. though, from 8 a.m. to 12 minutes. So I look forward to Sunday morning because nothing like Sunday morning worship.
And for our viewers, you will see the information so you can follow Marcella Jones. You can listen to her, and that'll be at the bottom of the screen as well as our book information. And
social media, do you want people to follow you? Like, share, follow?
Marcella Jones 1. I am on Instagram, Marcella Jones 1. Twitter, Marcella Jones 1. And Facebook, Marcella Jones.
Okay.
Right.
This big old head like this. That's my picture on Facebook.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, cuz we really appreciate it. All right, so we're going to end with our catchphrase. Okay, you ready?
I think so.
Okay, you go.
All right. It's not going to be my way.
It's not.
I'm sorry, I said it wrong.
Okay, let's do it again. See, this is what podcasting is all about.
I love it.
I'm going to start. It's not her way.
It's not his way.
It's the Redmond way. Peace and blessings. All right, all right. I'll talk to you.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
I know that I love you. Hold on, don't give up. I'm the move of God.